Hello friends, you are heartily welcome to Zen Inspired YouTube channel. Friends, it is called unnecessary remorse, when a person thinks that what happened should not have happened. If he had used some trick or thought of some solution, if he had taken some advice from someone, or if he had used his own wisdom, then today. This is not a mistake. There is no benefit in repenting like this, because you are trying to change the past. Even if you try hard, you will not be able to change your past. That is why such repentance only creates anxiety, but this very repentance can prove to be of great use if man learns and tries to change himself, because you are not the past, you are not completely done yet, you are becoming, you are the future to come. That is why you can change yourself, and if the mistakes of the past. If you try to change yourself by learning from the past, then in the true sense, only that aftertaste is useful. Through today's story, I am going to tell you some ways in which you can forget the mistakes of your past and transform yourself into a better person. People who doubt themselves remain entangled in their own thoughts. Past mistakes and past deeds keep troubling them. These methods will prove to be a boon for them. So let's start a story of years of hard work in life. Even later, when a person does not get the fruits of his actions, he becomes destitute from within. Something similar happened with a sannyasi. He had accepted sannyasa thinking that he will continue to search for the truth at any cost, but 30 years have passed, and yet he had no control over his mind. Whenever his eyes fell on beautiful women, lustful thoughts would arise in his mind. Whenever he sat alone, he would regret himself as to why he had become a monk. He too could have worked well, could have started a good family, could have had children, could have had a wife. But why did I give up all these pleasures and drive into the forest? And with similar thoughts, he had become very negative about small things. But getting angry after seeing a successful person, feeling jealous inside, and various similar thoughts kept troubling him. And due to these thoughts, he became so troubled that he decided to commit suicide. Despite wanting to go back to his old life, I could not go back because he had taken sannyasa in front of everyone. And after taking sannyasa, a person leaves his family and everything behind. He was standing on top of a hill and looking down. The same thoughts were still running in his mind, that if I had taken the right decision in my life, I would have used some trick or thought of some solution and had taken some advice from someone. Had I been there, or had I used my own discretion, I would not have had to commit suicide today. He was about to jump from the hill, and luckily another monk reached there. When he saw the monk standing on the hill, it did not take long for him to understand. When she wondered what the whole matter was, the sannyasi shouted to the young sannyasi, "Bhante, you will have to start from the same place from where you are leaving. Just think about it." The young sannyasi angrily said to Tapa, "Why do you have to start from the same place this time? I will not commit the same mistakes that I had committed earlier." The young monk cried and said that, "I admit that I have committed some mistakes unknowingly, but it does not mean that I will always repeat those mistakes. I have learned a lot from those mistakes, but the misfortune is this." Hearing that those mistakes cannot be corrected now, the old monk started laughing loudly. There were lightnings in the sky, and the old monk was shouting only one thing, that no one can correct the mistakes made in the past, because the past is the past. Time never comes back. Those people are fools who think that they can change the past. No one in this world can be more ignorant than them. Because when you cannot turn back the time, then how can you change your past? You can, but those who are intelligent and knowledgeable people understand how important it is to make mistakes in life to become a better and experienced person. It is because of mistakes that you learn and want to change yourself in the future. They try to make themselves a better person. Unless you know your own shortcomings, how will you try to improve yourself? And the shortcomings become known only because of mistakes. Those parents who do not give their children the opportunity to make mistakes are the ones who do wrong. Life is that battlefield where a person makes himself a warrior by making mistakes, and the person who thinks that he will not make any mistake in life, then it means that he is not participating in the field of life. And the person who runs away from the battlefield is called a coward. Cowards are the people who do not start a new beginning out of fear of their past mistakes. Life is all about moving on. While moving, a person also falls. He cries, but never stops. He stands up again and walks again because life is about moving on. The old monk said that today I am going to tell you 5 ways by following which you can turn the mistakes of your past into your power. You can change. The old monks asked, would you like to hear that way? If you want to hear, then listen with full attention. First of all, remove the thought of suicide from your mind, then come to this side of the hill so that we can sit and discuss. The young monk thought that in some time I will definitely commit suicide. Why not listen to the old monk at this last moment? So thinking this, he told the old monk that it should not take much time to tell you the 5 ways quickly. Finish your words, then I have to commit suicide. Without taking much time, the old monk first started telling the method. He said that first of all, know that whatever mistake has been committed in the past, due to whom it has happened, what was the reason behind it? No one. There are some main reasons behind making a mistake. You have to identify that reason. That reason can either be a compulsion or it can be a person, because of whom you made this mistake, or you can also have some selfishness behind it. Have you recognized that if you got cheated by someone, then why did you get cheated? Because perhaps you might have trusted too much. Once you get to know the reason, then you will come to know what is your shortcoming, what is your weakness, and once if the reason behind any mistake, if the reason for this mistake is understood, then that mistake can be rectified and it can be prevented from happening again in the future. The old monk told a matter of great wisdom. He said that mistakes do not make us sad. We feel sad when we correct our mistakes. We repeat it again and again when we start feeling that we probably won't be able to correct our mistakes. Maybe we don't have enough self-confidence to learn from our mistakes and correct them. When we start doubting ourselves about this, then we feel pain. If we make a mistake, and once he understands the reason behind the mistake, then this second method comes in handy. After understanding the reason behind the mistake, ask yourself a question. What kind of person were you before making this mistake? And what kind of person were you before making this mistake? What changed inside you after this? Did you learn from your mistake? What did you learn and what new did you learn about yourself? The old monk said that after asking yourself such questions, you will find that some new experiences have been added to your life. These experiences are very important for development to move ahead in life. Some people get cheated, then they think, what was their mistake in this? Why did they get cheated? But you get cheated only because of your sensitivity. You are more sensitive. You understand the feelings of others more. That is why you trust them and you get cheated. Then your sensitivity becomes the reason for your deception, and this is your mistake, and now you have come to know the reason for your mistake. Then this, after understanding the reason, you got to know something new about yourself, that you are more sensitive. That is why you get cheated. Once you start observing yourself, you will come to know many amazing things about yourself. You will be surprised by how much you have come to know yourself. That is why it is very important to observe yourself. And in the third way, we make a resolution to ourselves that we will never repeat this mistake in the future or make any new mistake. You will do it, you will get some new lesson, but you will never repeat this mistake again. The old monk said that there are 3 types of people. One who wants to learn from the mistakes of others, the second one who wants to learn from the mistakes themselves, and the third one who makes the same mistakes. We live but never learn. The meaning of a river comes out only when it passes through different places. If it stops at one place, it will never be called a river. Similarly, life is also made for making new mistakes. That is why, if you have committed a mistake once, then take a firm resolve from yourself that if you make a new mistake, then it will be okay. Otherwise, this mistake will never be repeated in your life. Only then you can be wise towards life. You can live a life full of wisdom. Otherwise, you are just an animal. There will be no difference in his life and your life. While explaining the 4th method, the sannyasi said that many times we realize our mistakes in advance, even before the mistake happens. We come to know that we are going to make a mistake. That is why if we make a mistake, you're lucky to realize it before it happens. And you can prevent that mistake from happening. The universe gives us signals. We all must have felt it, but we still ignore it. The consequences of which we have to suffer in the future. Gradually, when you start learning from the mistakes of your past, if you have, then your experience starts increasing. Understanding about life starts to arise, and when understanding starts to arise, then mistakes can be prevented from happening. Use your intelligence and think about what could be the consequences of any work you are doing. Isn't this a mistake? And in this way, you become mature for life. This is your development, and all human beings have to pass through this. Otherwise, life will stop there and will not move forward. If you want to move forward, then this is the way. The last and most important lesson is that if you have become a person experienced by mistakes, then now you can act as a guide for others. You can become a lamp for others and give them light. Ultimately, we become what we think. And when you think of helping others, you yourself become a better person. Then nature helps you. The universe shows you the way. And when you start working for the welfare of mankind, then it is written in the scriptures. It is considered to be the best work. There can be no better work than this. Those people who think about the welfare of all living beings and mankind, such people become equal to God. Compassion and love start arising in their minds, and God is a person with compassion and love. Hearing the sermon that love is another name, the young monk fell at the feet of the old monk and told him that tears of gratitude started flowing from his eyes after receiving from me such pure and life-giving knowledge. And that old monk and that young monk, both of them returned to their ashram. Then, friends, the lesson we learn from this story is that we cannot change our past, but we can change our future. And if we learn from our mistakes and try to change ourselves, then we will be able to live a better life in the true sense. So friends, how did you like this story? Please do tell us in the comments section, and if you liked it, then do subscribe to this channel. Let's meet. Till then, there is a new story like this. Take care. Thanks and Namo Buddhaye.